So on to our next category of things, we have musical textures, and we've talked about this before. So we have monophonic textures, polyphonic textures, and homophonic textures. So a monophonic texture is when you have a single unaccompanied melody line. So that means just one melody line, there's nothing else playing with it, but you can have 100 different instruments or 100 different people playing that same melody line, and it still remains monophonic. But when you bring in another instrument and it's playing something different, then that becomes polyphonic. Okay, so a good example of this is with my ukulele. If I have the melody line that goes we will rock you, or if I have 100 people saying that, that doesn't change the fact that it's monophonic, right? So we will rock you. But now if I add something on top of that, we will rock you, all right, that's a different melody. We will rock you. And if I put them both together, they're two different melodies, so that becomes polyphonic. We will rock you, rock you. We will rock you, rock you. So right there, a different melody line makes it polyphonic. So polyphonic is just two different melodies that are different from one another, playing at the same time. Then we go to our next level, homophonic, which is now when you have an accompanied melody line. So a melody line that's accompanied by another instrument, like the piano or anything else that's holding down the harmony. All right, so it could even be a bass, it could be another instrument, be a guitar. So you can have a piano and a flute playing, or piano and violin, or piano and someone singing, and now it becomes homophonic. So make sure you understand those three textures: monophonic, polyphonic, and homophonic. All right, so let's try and decipher and determine what musical texture each of these pieces are. Starting off with number one.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the long arm of the law. Lawman is putting an end to my running, and I'm so far from my home.
All right, so right there we have a single voice, so definitely monophonic, a single melody line. Let's go to another example. So right there, we had our main melody, and then we had another melody coming and weaving in, then we had another melody weaving in. So we have three different melodies, both played, all three played by a violin, but different violins. So multiple melodies, we have a polyphonic texture. So right there we have a violin that's being accompanied with a huge other amount of violins, but they're playing more of like a chord harmony underneath that violin. So that becomes a homophonic texture. All right, let's go for our next one. We have a girl here playing the violin. So pretty straightforward. We only have one melody line being played by a violin, so therefore it is a monophonic texture. Let's go for the next one. That's a pretty interesting one. So it's one instrument, but he started off with his right hand on the piano, so he started off monophonic, but it quickly developed and became polyphonic because he brought in his left hand and he started playing alongside with it. So there was more than one melody there, and therefore it became a polyphonic texture.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide.
Alright, so pretty straightforward there. We have a person who's playing a guitar and he's singing over the guitar, so his voice is the melody and the guitar is holding the harmony. So therefore it becomes a homophonic texture.
Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place, singing, we will rock you. We will rock you.
Alright, so right here, we have a main melody saying we will rock. It's said by multiple people. Then you have the other person saying da 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 da. So even though there are many people and there's a point where there's only one guy, they're all saying the same thing. For all those many people saying we will rock you. So that's monophonic. But here's where it gets a bit interesting. There's percussion underneath everything. There's another layer of things there. And that percussion can confuse people thinking, oh, there's more than one thing going on, therefore it must be polyphonic. But no, percussion does not affect that texture. It's a different layer, but it doesn't affect the texture. So as much as you can have all the drums clanging, all the gongs and everything, but if we're talking really about melody, so those are the notes that are produced. So it doesn't affect the texture, so this would be monophonic. So watch out, make sure you don't think that percussion affects the texture. Let's hear another one.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Alright, so right there you have one voice saying, I get knocked down, and I get up again. Then you have another voice, I don't know what they're saying, da 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 da. They're saying it in the background, but it's different from the main melody. They also have an electric guitar. There's so much going on. If there's so much going on, you obviously know it's not monophonic, it's not homophonic, it is polyphonic right there. Alright, let's hear our last example for musical textures. We've got piano, we've got violin. Pretty straightforward. You have the main melody being played by the violin. The piano is holding down the chords, kind of like if you had a ukulele playing the melody, another ukulele playing the chords. So obviously it becomes a homophonic texture. Alright, so right there, those are different textures. And we don't just want to have it as head knowledge, we want to be able to hear things and say, oh, that is homophonic, oh, that's polyphonic, oh, that's monophonic. Okay, we want to be able to decipher the texture of pieces by listening to them. That shows that we're growing musically, alright? Alright, let's go on to our next and last element of music for this video.